Hey, hi guys. How's everything going? Let me just put Discord on.
Dat ik zeg maar,
Oh, hello Discord.
dat beter dat ik alleen maar Duits moet verstaan. Ah, dat heb ik geen zin in.
So, what can I say?
Hallo.
Hello, Fugit.
How you doing? So, just so you know, I haven't been streaming recently. Why? Because this piece of crap from China, which is an Ava Media capture card, works fine, but then you have to have software, and that doesn't work fine, and it all went kaput. So the capture card works, the software is shockingly bad, so that's why I've not been live streaming. Now I could use the screen mirror, but that's causing problems with noise. Basically what happens is every now and then the screen mirror seems to jump, and that cuts off Discord, and then it cuts off YouTube, and then it brings everything back on again, and everything goes out of sync. It's just not nice. So I got an Elgato capture card, which, being in this part of the world, is not easy, funnily enough. They're not readily available, so I had to go via the like a version of Amazon. And that was meant to turn up on the 2nd of July from the UK, and it's not here. God knows where it is. The tracking says it's left the UK, but hey, I don't know. I don't know where it is. It's there somewhere. I just don't know. Anyway, wowzers! Before we start off, hello everybody on YouTube. There's quite a few of you. Wowzers! How many? 16 already. We only just started, and then I was early. That's even better. And then we got a load of you in Discord. So we got Remilio, we got IS4 and Sheridan are balanced. What a statement!
That's Stan.
What a statement! We've got Jory, we got Stingray, and we got Stubbo. Hey, finally. Oh, and wow, it's a good job Stubbo's jumped in, because wowzers. First thing we're going to look at is the store. And when I press on the store tab, look at all these tanks. It's just chock-a-block with premium tanks. There's more premium tanks than you can shake a stick at. And that's just on offers. I've not even got to the bundles yet. That's unbelievable. Now, admittedly, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 6. First 6, realistically. Well, no, 1, 2, a couple of them. There's a couple of them, like the T-34. You can already get that in the tech tree. It's just cheaper at the moment. But obviously, it's the 4th of July today.
Oh, there we go.
Happy 4th of July, all those of you in North America.
That would be me.
Yes.
I'm one of them.
Celebrating the independence from us, the British.
I'm watching the movie Independence Day.
Well, it's better than The Patriot, let me put it that way.
Who would watch The Patriot on Independence Day? No.
Oh God, it's a bloody awful movie. Mel Gibson. Anyway, but I'll be honest with you. I was expecting the new, so-called American premiums to make a showing for this Independence Day. I didn't expect them to rehash the previous premiums.
This is traditional. They rehash these on this week, and then the following weeks they bring out the new things. That's how they do it every year.
And there you go. This is why it's good that Stubbo jumped in, because there's so many premium tanks. And to be fair, if you don't have the likes of the T28 HTC, which by the way is a pretty funky tank, for 3,000 gold, it's worth it, guys. It really is. Okay, it's a tier 7, but it's a good credit grinder.
Definitely since it got buffed.
Yeah.
Wait, it got buffed?
Yeah, got buffed.
The armor got.
When was that again?
About 2-3 releases ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more than that.
I either didn't pay attention or forgot.
Well, let's go through them. I mean, you got the T23E3. That's not a bad tank for 2,500. Again, it's a tier 7, and I get a lot of
It's
people.
a faster Comet with.
It's an American combat, yeah.
Basically,
and,
yeah.
Less armor.
Absolutely. But it's a nice tank, and it's going for 2,500 gold, which it's not too bad. The T28 HTC is an incredible tank, to be honest with you. You put that in the right place, it's like rolling out in an AT-15A. No one's going to pen you. And it's got a decent gun for a change. Unlike most American tanks, this one will pen. Then we got the T26E4 Super Pershing. That's a great tank. For a tier 8, 4,300 gold, it's a great tank. You stick that thing hull down, point the gun towards the enemy, and they're going to struggle to pen you, even with Pramo.
Absolutely.
It's a really nice tank, and it's okay for tier 8. So all of those of you who are in the tier 8 tournaments at the moment, because the Ascent Tours at the moment are tier 8, you haven't got a premium tank. Hey, Super Pershing, there you go. I'm not a big fan of the T95E2, to be honest with you.
That's the worst of the bunch.
I think it is. I don't think it's a good tank, and it's got that massive spot on its head, which is easy to pen. And the turret isn't as tidy as it should be. It's not as tight as it should be, so you're quite easy to pen in that. And it doesn't have a fan. The gun is the gun, but it's not a great tank, guys. It's
the 59 pattern, but with a weaker turret, basically.
Correct. Yeah, it is.
Well, tier 7 mediums like the Chi-Reel struggle to pin it, but yeah, same tier 9s, no problem.
Oh, tier 8s and tier 9s don't have a problem with it. It's not a good tank. Then we come to a really good tank.
No, it needs further buffing, in my opinion.
Yeah. Then we come to the really good tank, the M6A2E1 Experimental. Now, if you haven't got that, get it. 4,500 gold. That thing is got really good gun. Okay, it's got a long reload, but it dishes out a lot of damage. And it's got trolley armor. Absolutely trolley armor. And the only thing that's going to hurt you is if you turn side on.
Yeah. Once people have your side armor, you're gonna fall apart.
But aside from that,
if you're being face hugged by one, the thing to aim for is the turret ring.
Yeah,
it's very. That's the place to aim.
That's the only real weak spot.
Yeah.
Even if you load Pramo, if you're in a tier 8 and you load Pramo, you'll tend to find it's only the cheeks of the turret that will be pennable on that thing. And it's a really tough shot. And the Cupola, which again is a really tough shot. So it's not exact. It's a tough tank.
Turret ring, especially if I mean, if you're in another tall tank, yeah, you can shoot the Cupola, I guess, but otherwise you shoot the turret ring.
Absolutely, and of course it goes without saying, because I'm not going through all of it, but it goes without saying they're American tanks, so obviously you can shoot them up the arse with a good HE round, and it sort of hurts them, like most American tanks.
I love the side of an M6 with a smasher. They go up nicely.
There is that as well. They grew up nicely, yes.
That's the one disappointing thing about Americans. Didn't show up the rear with HE.
Am I the only guy here who sold this EXP?
Say again, sorry?
Am I the only guy here who sold this EXP? I was grinding like 600 battles to get it for free last year. I was so disappointed with it, I just sold it outright.
And now it's for 4,500 gold. Tell me about it. It is a beast of a tier 8, to be fair. It is a beast of a tier 8. And like I said, if you like tier 8 tournaments, it's a nice tank. If you like that variation from an IS, I mean, because most tier 8 tournaments are ISs or variants of, like the Object 252U, the WZ, the Glacial, blah blah blah.
Budget. It's full Action X. That's how they work.
Full Action X, yeah, that works as well. Although when we rolled out the other night, admittedly, Winter War turned us over in the decider. Sam and I, who's in YouTube, did actually completely make their 2 Action X's on Canyon completely irrelevant. So that was quite nice. Next up, we've got the T-34 Independence. It's a T-34. It's called an Independence because it comes with that funky camo. Again, another really good tank. Another tank that, if you stick it all down, it's got good gun depression. It's got a great gun, long reload, admittedly, fantastic turret armor, and a snap at 4,900. It's an older tank, I get that, and a lot of people have got it already. But if you haven't got it, it's a good tank. And it's a nice little tier 8, big, derpy gun American. And then last but not least in the American line, we've got the Chrysler K. I'm not a massive fan of the Chrysler K.
Get it.
You're not, or
No, I'm not a big fan. It's a great side scraper. If you want to know how to side scrape, get a Chrysler K. It's got a good reload. It struggles a little bit sometimes with pen, I think.
Yeah, the gun's a little weak.
I do think it's very
it's the same gun as the T29 and the T32, but I feel like the Chrysler K actually goes better with the gun than the T32 does.
Yeah, just about. I mean, the T32 hasn't got a great gun either. They're in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Well, I have people tell me, oh, the T32 has good armor. I'm like, well, I was always getting pinned with it, even when I was trying to hold out. And it's like, yeah, screw T32, because the gun stinking sucks.
The T32 is quite weak in certain respects. But the Chrysler K, I mean, 5,200 for what is a unique American tank, let's be honest. It's a rear-mounted gun, turret. It's a very good side scraper. It's not bad turret. Like I said, it struggles to pen, I think, but it's got a good reload and it's got good DPM, so it's worth a look if you don't have them. Then we've still got in the store the sturdy front, the E75 TS and the AMX M4 Male 49. Now, a lot of people don't like the AMX, and a lot of people like the E75 TS. Bit on that. The E75 TS is basically a Tiger 2. Don't kid yourself.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much it's a Tiger 2.
When you go up against the E75 TS, with like a light or a medium, those side grates are very annoying because you can't penetrate.
No, it is tricky to pen. But a lot of people don't like the AMX M4. The AMX M4 isn't a bad tank.
Side grates, I mean,
its armor frontally is great.
It's a great tank, yeah.
Except if you get its sides or anywhere else angled, it just falls apart.
No, I totally agree. If you over-angle it, you're having a bad day. But frontally, it's good.
I feel like the reason people hate the M449 is because of the fact that it kind of needs a team to work. Like, the E75 TS, you can kind of throw it around to get results, but you can't really do that with the Frenchie.
Yes, you can.
You can and you can't. I mean, you do need a team. But anyway, I mean, I think it's a nice tank. However, they're 7,500 gold each.
Well, that's 10,000 for the E75 TS.
Yeah. So if you go down, as you can see, as Stubbo points out, it's 10,000 for the E75 and 7,500 for the AMX. So basically, you get an E75 cheaper if you buy the package. The other thing that you need to know, if you buy the package, all the equipment slots are unlocked on both vehicles.
Apparently, I'm having connection issues.
Now,
you sound kind of robotic.
Okay, I can hear him already.
So is the ISU 130 bundle thing still in the store as well?
About to get to that. So if you're gonna get if you haven't got these tanks, don't spend 10 grand, guys. If you've got 15, spend the 15 because it will save you a shed load of credits in getting the equipment. Because at tier 8, the equipment starts to become expensive, and you get all 9 slots. So it's actually worth the deal to get the 2 tanks for 15. Next, we've got the WZ115A Fiery Serpent, 22,500 for a tier 10, which isn't as good, in my opinion, as the WZ113, the Tech Tree version. I think the 113 is much better.
It has a bigger gun, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think the 113 is a lot better. Easier to play, nicer to play. I just find it a better tank.
Doodles loves it.
Yeah, generally. It's a meh.
Well,
That's all right.
Droodles, I get that point. Droodles loved it. Here's a point. Tell me how many pro teams roll out in that tank in tours compared to the 113.
Oh no, I'm not saying that it's better. I'm just saying that I know Jules loves the thing. Like he posted a video I think today that says it's his favorite tier 10 tank and whatever.
Well, I don't think I'd ever go that far to say it was my favourite tier 10 because the 113 is so much better. Not only that, 22,500. Okay, I mean this is a collector. Okay, it initially came out in crates, but that's still a lot. 22,500.
Question: Didn't the Badger come out for like 20K?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the point. I mean, it's not that great.
This is the first sale, that's why it's higher.
Correct. It is the first time it's been sold. It's been in crates normally. So then we get down to the devastating duo, which is the IS-2SH and the ISU-130. Now, for 10,500, you get both tanks, 2 tier 8s. One's a heavy, one's a TD. You get all the equipment slots for both. Now, you can just get the ISU-130 for 7,500, so it's 3,000 difference. So you're getting 2 tanks for, you're getting 2 tanks for a good price, to be fair, when you look at 7,500 for the ISU-130. Now, the ISU-130 isn't that bad.
It is for all intents and purposes a tier 8 SU-100Y.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people moan about the 130. It's actually, it's a nice tank. It's not that bad. If you like ISU, the ISU 152, then you'll like this one because it's got a nicer reload. Okay, it doesn't give the same dirt because it's not the same gun, obviously. But it's a nice tank.
Yeah,
it's the
but
same hull.
DPM punishes a lot better than the ISU.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I've had it a while. When I first got it, when it first came out, I think the first game I aced it. Then the second game I aced it. Then the third game I aced it. It's a nice tank.
Well, the tank just got out, so it's not that difficult.
It's a nice tank. And then you've got the IS-2SH. I'm not a fan of that tank. I used to be, but I'm not.
I have it for a really long time, and I can't say it's effective at all.
That's where I'm at. I'd love to say it's a great tank. I don't think it is. I mean, it's got trolley armor, but it has got a long reload, and it still
The
struggles.
degrees of gun depression are also really nice.
Yeah. So, but you're getting 2 tanks that would normally cost you 14,000 gold for 10,500 with all the equipment unlocked. But even on their own, the equipment's unlocked, so it's not huge savings. And then we go on to the bundles. Oh dear. So you've got all the American vehicles. Now, okay, my garage is in UAE dirhams, but 280 dirhams is approximately $75 roughly.
Translates to like $90 in my country.
Yeah, I mean, because 360 dirhams is approximately $100, so it's about $75-80. But I mean, you're getting how many tanks?
Yeah, it's $80 out here.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tanks. 7 tanks there. So it's $10 a tank, effectively. So.
Yeah, but I would gander to say that some of the tanks in that bundle are worth the $10 more than others.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like what is it, the T95 one? That's basically the 59 patent, but American, and it's worse.
Yeah.
That's the only lame duck in it. You need to at least want four or more tanks in there to make it worthwhile buying the bundle.
I mean, I already play the Falcons, so I have no point in getting the 776.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's the same tank. It's exactly the same tank. There's no difference, apart from the camo.
I mean, the only tank in that bundle that I'm like, ooh, I want to pick this up is the T28 HMC or HTC or whatever it's called.
But you can pick that up for next to nothing, as I said. I mean, you can pick that up at the moment for what, 3,000 gold? You don't need to spend 80
yeah, something
dollars.
like
Yeah, it's about 10 quid.
The one that confused me is the next one. the reliable low. Now, the low has always been a tech tree premium tank. It's always been in the garage. It's always been in your tech tree. So if you go to your tech tree, go to the German light. The low sits there in the tech tree. It's here.
I keep having connection issues.
So, what confused me when I saw this is that they're selling it for money. Okay, it's not a lot of money. It's about 15 quid. And it's the boosters that you're buying realistically, because the tank itself you can get it for gold. It sits in your tech tree, and it's only 3,500 gold. Now 3,500 gold, if we look, is what? It's 32 dirham, 30 odd dirhams, which is about £9, $9. So
how much do you think is in the tech tree for? Sorry.
How much is it? I mean, they're saying if you've already had the low, you get it for 3,500. So it should be going for what, 5,000 at the moment?
In the tech tree, it's 7,500.
It's 7,500 still, is it?
Yep.
So it is 7,500.
Speaking of pop-up offers and whatever, yesterday I got an offer to get the M60, the tier 10 thing. It's premium skin, all the slots, plus like $2,000 in gold for $70.
No, they're quite good. That's quite good. So looking at it, I mean, 7,500 gold plus all the add-ons, it comes to me at about $15. So looking at the bundle, you're spending about $12 and getting a lot more. You're getting the tank, you're getting all the equipment slots, you're getting the camo, you're getting 500,000 credits. 30 days of premium. Actually, it's a good deal.
It is.
It's a really good deal. It's not a bad deal at all.
But like 3 years back, it cost me around $30.
Yeah, it's a good
And
deal.
now the fact that it's being sold for 13, it's a bargain deal. It's just why not?
Absolutely. So that's the low, and that's a good deal. Next, we've got the T6E1, and for the love of God, don't buy it. It's shit. It's an awful tank. I mean, it's a tier 4, and it's got a 12-second reload almost, and it only dishes out about 160 high-end alpha. It's shocking. And not only that, it's a Sherman hull.
I'm fixing to jump to YouTube because Discord is being stupid. Sorry to interrupt. I just keep having connection issues on
Actually,
Discord.
the T1E6 has the same alpha. The T1E6 has the same alpha as every other 75 mil in tier 4.
Yeah, it's crap.
It doesn't get any extra.
No.
You would think with the reload that it has, it would get extra, but it doesn't.
Absolutely. You would think that with its reload, it's going to be really, really good. Or you're going to dish out about 260. It's
if I'm not
shocking.
mistaken, the DW2, I'm pretty sure the DW2 is the only tier 4 tank that still has its 160 alpha.
Yeah.
Unless they've changed it. And that thing reloads faster than the T1E6.
And it's got armor.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this thing, it came up as a birthday tank the other day, and I rolled out in it, and I got wasted every game because every game I was bottom tier, so it was always tier 5, and they just go through you like butter. I mean, it's a shit tank, guys.
How much is the front armor on that?
Oh, I can't remember, but it's not thick.
It's 50, 38 on the hull, 51 on the turret.
Yeah, it's not thick. It's not a great tank.
So theoretically, I could put an 85mm HE shell directly to the front plate. That's fun.
I mean, admittedly, they're selling it for $5. I mean, they have to because it's shit. Basically,
I mean, the first offer that they had for it was like what, $2?
Buy the premium time, get the tank for free. If you wanted some premium time, get a free tank and just leave it at that.
I mean, speaking of tanks, they should have sold for $5 the T44-100.
But the thing about it is, for $5, you can buy this tank, and as Stubbo says, buy the tank, get the premium time, get all the other shit, sell it. You get 1,000. You can sell it for 1,500 gold, I believe.
Yeah.
Which for 1,500 gold for $5 is pretty good.
That's not bad.
Everything else you got.
It's not bad. So it's worth a look. But seriously, the tank is shit. So don't sit there thinking I'm getting a good tank for a $5. You're not. You're getting a good package, but you're getting a shit tank.
I mean, this is coming from the same guy who was like, "Oh, FCM 36 pack 40 for $5." Snatched that up and then realizes it's hot garbage.
Oh, that is awful. That's an awful tank. A truly horrendous tank.
I still religiously play it to this day.
Next up, we've got, I think it's the last one actually, is the T-34 100 Hellfire. An interesting tank, to be fair.
It's literally just a T-44 with side skirts.
And it costs
Basically, yeah. Basically, yeah. I mean, again, this one's going for about, what, $15, give or take? $5, $15, roughly. For that, you're getting all the credits in the certificates, etc., etc. And it's not a bad tank, but it's not a great tank. But it's not a bad tank.
Honestly, what is 500,000 credits going to do for someone who's going straight into a tier 8 game?
Well, it'll buy you. It'll pay for 3 games.
That's gonna buy you. That's gonna buy you like maybe 2, possibly 3 games if you're not running boosters.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Losses, I should say.
Probably gonna unlock you like 2 slots at most if you want to like unlock it with something like a 6-3 tank.
Oh no, the Hellfire. Okay, I was gonna say the Hellfire comes with all of its slots.
Yeah. It does come with all the slots. It's got all the equipment unlocked, etc., etc. And of course, with all these tanks, you get an avatar, and that's what you're buying. You're buying an avatar. You don't want a tank,
at least
an avatar.
How about you're buying that 14 days of premium?
14 days of premium's not bad. I mean, premium's not cheap. I mean,
14 days.
$2,000. Yeah, $2,000. 2,000 gold for 14 days premium. So
2,500.
I have approximately like 6 months of the certificates of just premium time in my account right now. So I'm like, do I really need more?
Actually, like, instead of just direct time, they don't less like normal.
For gaming says yes.
I mean, that's one of my problems, because when I go into my storage, I mean, I've got a lot. I've got 34 one-day premium accounts. So that's 34 days alone in those. I've got another. I can combine those. I've got loads of them, and I just keep collecting them, and I keep forgetting to put them in. Basically,
that's okay.
I've got about 2 years.
Oh shoot! I just realized I have like 8 certificates for 100 gold that I have to use, and I completely forgot that I had them.
So I mean, if I do it this way, I mean I've now got 150. I've got 158 day certificates for premium, but then if I compare, and then I've got 200, almost 309 hours premium, and then another 220 for an hour premium. It's just craziness. It's just a lot, and that's the thing, that there is a lot. But then I've got 30. I've got 30-day premium account as well. One of those certificates, which I haven't used.
These sort of bundles aren't aimed at the likes of us, though, Fugit, that have been on here and playing for years. They're aimed at the new kids to get them started and get their first tier rates and stuff.
Exactly.
Like that.
I mean, Jono's not in, which is good.
People would frown on that.
Thankfully, Jono's not around, because he'd have a go at me, because I've still got 17 certificates for 100 gold that I haven't used. And then I've got a shed load of bloody camos for. It's a nightmare. And then you got all the, I mean, anyway. So that's what's in the store. So there's a lot of premium tanks up for grabs, guys, and it's aimed mainly at the newer player. I get that, but some of them, if you haven't got, are worth a look, because they did come. They've come around in different times, like the
cheaper than usual premium.
Correct, they are a bit cheaper than usual. And then what else was there? Oh yeah. Next on the agenda, we had like 3 months spring season near as damn it of ratings, and then like 5 days, or what seemed like 5 days. It didn't seem long. Yeah. The ratings for it's reset again now, but it seemed like really short. And I don't know how long it was in the end. It was less than a month, I think.
1 month.
It was about
4 weeks.
Yeah. 4 weeks.
But it just
That's
seemed
difficult.
really, really short. And I didn't even do a ratings battle last month, so that was pretty strange. So bizarre.
Yeah, me neither.
And then the next thing is Ascent Tours. So the summer series is underway with the Ascent Tours, and it's tier 8, which is interesting.
Australians with premium tank.
It's been very interesting because I rolled out with Zenith the other day, and we had Winter War, and I was speaking to Agile Hippo afterwards, and I mean they beat us, but I was having a chat with him, and he was saying, you know, it's really weird. It's like we're a bunch of noobs at this tier, because obviously they're used to playing tier 10. And they were trying to work out. They spent most of the time trying to work out what tier 10 tanks are the equivalents at tier 8 to try and get the tactics around that way. But it was a learning curve for they said it was a bit of a learning curve for them. So, and I know Stubbo, you guys played, and you did quite well as well, I believe. You're in 6th place.
We're doing all right. Yeah, we're starting out. We're doing all right.
Jory, did you play in R2K?
I did.
And how did you guys find tier 8? Being tier 10 tall.
Actually, so
I don't like tier 8.
Yeah, fuck tier 8.
We struggled to pick the tanks. It struggled to pick the tanks.
Tier 8 didn't have premiums, it would be a decent tier, but nope.
Yeah, it was a struggle to pick the tanks.
Some guys in my team only have an IS5 or so because they never played tier 8.
Well, this is what Agile Hippo was saying. He was saying that some of them have only got the IS5 or the IS6, both of which the IS6 is no good at tournaments.
It's teams full of Object 252Us that are just soul draining.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add to that count.
Yeah. But it's been...
Since
you have
after
4
heavy tanks, basically you can just run Object 252Us.
If you have 3 or 4 action axes and you have some mediums, you can just over an enemy team. I don't know.
It's been interesting.
Look at TXT.
It's been interesting, and
Look at
obviously
TXT.
it's on again tonight. So if any of you are out there and you're in a clan, it's touch only. But if you're in a clan that isn't taking part, seriously, you should take part just for the credits. Because even if you don't progress, don't worry about the cups and getting into the top 16 or top 8 or whatever. Just take part just to get the credits. Because the credits are pretty good for tier 8. These type of battles. And it's good experience for overall clan wars. So, and it's tier 8, so everybody should be able to do it. To be fair, majority of people should be able to play that. It's not like tier 10, which is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So that's coming tonight. I'm listed as one of the streamers to do the end of it. It's the end of the month, which is like the finals and stuff like that. But I know the likes of Rolling Swarm is streaming R2K and R4K. I don't know if he's streaming today. I think he is. He's streaming. He told me he's streaming all the R2K, R4K battles. Where he can.
Probably he will.
Nice to see they've gone with no premium tanks at all in their tournaments.
Absolutely.
No missile tanks.
Absolutely. And I also know that Every Good Name Is Taken, aka Every, is also streaming. I thought he was streaming Endgame, but he's streaming his clan, I believe.
Yeah, streaming his own clan.
Nice.
Yeah, Gnice or Nice or Gnice or whatever. So
no, don't say G nice because Jack is gonna come for you.
So don't forget, this is the top news though. The man, the legend, the myth, the Rolling Swarm is commentating in an Ascent tour. Guys, don't miss it. He's back. Maybe not an official, maybe not as an official capacity because he's a member of R2K, but he's back, and that's the main thing.
No, and he's playing with us.
No. He said he's going to stay in the game, but.
Oh no, he was always staying in the game. He just wasn't going to promote. That's what it was going to be. But be that as it may, he's streaming tournaments at the moment, guys. So Seriously, get over and watch him. He's on tonight. And, you know, it's always good to watch Rolling do his stuff. So, nice.
How's the commentary coming along, Fugit, with the...
The commentary's going well. I mean, what it is, because almost every quick tour at the moment, I'm rolling out with him with Zenith in tier 10, and what it's helping with is now I'm seeing like almost they're not pro are they? But they're top. They're challenger material clan. And what I'm getting to see and what I'm getting to learn and anticipate better is where pushes are going to go in things like that. And that's what it was all about, to try and get the experience of being at that level, to understand the mentality of the teams. And it is different, because a lot of time, there's a lot of waiting, funnily enough, at tier 10. And I wasn't prepared for that. There's a lot of waiting. To an extent, and you know, we rolled out yesterday in a QT, and we were on Dynasty's Pearl, and I was in an E100, and I spent half the game waiting in a position, unspotted, because Sam said they're going to go that way. Just wait, and by all they came that way, and it was Rise, I think. Rise, we were playing Rise. And they did come that way, and we were able to smack them. And that's the thing that sort of got me. It's interesting. It's all about positioning, and it's interesting like that. And the other thing that it sort of opened my eyes to, which helps with the commentary, is pushes. So I mean, I see it normally. So take Canal for example. On Canal, if they normally spawn at the south spawn, which is the spawn with the bridge, yeah, and they go to the B cap, then you will see most pro teams then drop down from the B cap into the canal itself, and then take their heavies to the ramp overlooking the C cap, but don't go up it, waiting to push at a later date, and you'll see tanks rotating round, blah blah blah, and what you see that on the game, and you say, yeah, I know what they're going to do. But when you're actually playing those type of tactics, you see it from a different angle, so to speak, and you get to understand more about the when to push. So you're waiting for tanks again to do certain things, and you're waiting for the enemy to do certain things, and you also get to learn more about focus fire, and those are the big things. And Sam is great, even though he's how can we say it?
Retarded.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say he's unique in his leadership style. And I know Sam is on YouTube, but he's unique in his leadership style. But one thing he does manage to highlight is where people are failing on the basics, and that happens a lot at tier 10. To be fair. And that also helps, because when you start seeing where the best players are failing on the basics, that's when you start to see that when you start commentating those games, you can start picking out those little mistakes. And it's been an eye opener, to be fair. It's been different. It's been an upper level clan wars. It has been different. There's a lot that goes into it. I mean, there's a lot of tactics. There's a lot of training. There's a lot of talking before the games. I mean, Jory does even more than we do, because obviously he's in a pro clan. And it is labour intensive, to be honest. I didn't expect that. I expected it to be not easy. I expected it to be a lot of work, but I didn't think it was going to be that labour intensive, if you know what I mean. And it's interesting to see how they work. And there's tactics going up left, right, and centre. I mean, Zenith, Sam's got his own tactics server, and you go through it, they go through it every game. It's it is quite intense. And I remember when I played the first one, because obviously I'm a complete noob at clan wars at this level, it's actually really tense, really tense. It's like you're holding the iPad if you're trying to break it, and after a while you get used to being there, and you get used to what's expected of you. And I know, when you play tier 6 and tier 8, you always want to say, oh, look how much damage I did. Well, at tier 10, it's not about that. It's about literally the teamwork and doing your job. The job you're assigned to. And it's an eye-opener. And I've loved every minute of it. And it's really going to help when I come to do the tier 10 Pro Tours. It's going to help a load. It's been a big learning curve. And I'm grateful for it. So.
No.
No, it's been fantastic.
Violated in ISP 1C.
When they've done some training, because obviously I'm not in their top team. That's why I'm doing the quick tours. But when they do their training they have their top team playing another top team, and then I jump in and comment and do the flyovers and all that sort of stuff, and that's been useful. So, but yeah, I mean, it's. I've said it before. I mean, a lot of people don't realise how much work goes into these top teams at Clan Wars. I mean, Jory, you have a big training schedule, R2K, I believe. Quite intense.
Yeah. Well, now it's not so much, but come on.
Because Jory's a retard, and yeah.
Well,
yes.
I'm not in the first team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm playing in the second team of R2K.
Oh, there you go.
But still, we're doing quite a lot of training.
Fugit.
Yeah, it's like it's a lot of tournaments, and it's all the time. It's the quick tours. They don't really do the tactics. It's more about the basics. Yeah. So Sam's not interested realistically in tactics that he would normally use in the main tours. He's more used to. He's more trying to find out where you're fucking up all the time, so to speak. Getting the basics correct, because a lot of people, even at tier 10, even with guys who know what they're doing, they overstretch, they push when they shouldn't push, they don't push when they should push, they put themselves in the wrong position, they don't side scrape, they don't go haul down, they forget about being spotted, and they get spotted and then do nothing about it. And it's those little things that get pointed out all the time. It's pretty interesting, yeah. You should try it. You should try it, Stavo. Honestly, it's intensive.
Yeah. It's hard enough just coming up with tactics for our team, let alone trying to work out what everyone else is doing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that throws you on occasion, because you come up with a tactic, and I know it's only a quick tour, but for example, you come up with a tactic, and then you get into the battle, and they've taken 7 mouses. You're like, what? Hey.
Yeah, exactly. Well, from a military perspective, no plan survives the first 10 minutes in battle, does it?
No, and this is what, like I said, this is what took me by surprise more than most. I mean, there are some teams you will face where it'll be full on rush, and you'll be aggressive as heck. And there are some interesting calls that are made, like, go here, and you say, well, I'm going to get shot. Yeah, but you're not going to die, so just go there. Doesn't matter if you get shot twice, because you're the decoy, or you're the this, or it's interesting. It is interesting, and it is going to help a hell of a lot when Twister comes round. If we're going to have an offline this year, I don't know. Is the honest answer. What with COVID and stuff, I don't know if they're going to do an offline. So, I know Tankfest is still scheduled, and I'm still meant to be going, so that'd be interesting.
I thought they cancelled that for this year.
Have they cancelled it now?
Didn't they do a live stream?
Just bonus codes. Get out bonus codes.
They've cancelled that for this year.
Yeah, they did a live stream this year.
Oh, right.
I think.
See? I didn't get the...
So I hope you haven't booked a hotel or anything.
No, I have not. So why? Oh, there we go. It was only a couple of days ago. That's why I haven't got it. Yeah. Well, that's okay. My tickets will be okay for next year then.
yeah, they're carrying them over.
So it'll be next year now. Either way, I'll be going to Tankfest soon. When it all kicks off. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been to Bovington for a long time. A long time. What am I doing? I'm just rabbiting on here. I'm not playing any replays. More I am. So, there's been no drama. Again, another week without drama. It's been great. Not that I know of, anyway. I've not seen any drama.
Well, there's drama.
Oh, really?
If you want to complain,
Yeah.
I'm
You want to
ready.
know? You want to know what drama?
Of course.
Yeah, I left Vale.
You left Vale?
Yeah, I left Vale.
Where are you now?
No, middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
Good job.
No clan.
You're clanless again. Oh.
Yeah,
Good.
it's about that time.
Speak to Sam. They're
I
always,
know. He already invited me.
because he's always looking for a decent touch player with clan war experience.
Yeah, it's just that. How can I say it?
And he's open to challenge this year, big time. He is open to challenge this year. That's why he's being so intense.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were close last season, just missing out. And, you know, he's got... I'll be fair to him. You know, like I said, he is on YouTube. And yes, Sam, you do have a unique leadership style, I must admit. It is very unique. But he has got good tactics and good awareness and good knowledge. And he, you know, with the intensity that he's bringing to it, he is very passionate about it. I think, you know, if he works, if he can get
so many positive
if he can
ways,
get the
maybe we
teams
can
together.
learn.
Oh, thank you, Team Trouble, very much. If he can get a core team together that gels, I think he can challenge. I think Zenith can challenge. They may not get. They you know, when I'm saying challenge, I mean they can take. I've played with them against some of the best clans, and they've beaten them. So they can do it. And then I've played with them with some of the shittest clans that you can think of, and they've lost. But you know, they've played some very good clans and beat them. I mean, they beat Immor 9-2 in one session. So they can do it when they pull it together. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'm looking forward to Twister because I think. I mean, I'd like to see Legion Endgame's dominance broken, to be honest. Because they're very dominant at the moment on the EU. And
It's R2K.
I'd like R2K to step up, to be fair.
Jory, shut up.
No, I would. I'd like R2K to step up and take it away from them. I mean, I really would, to be honest with you. And I'd like some of the other teams to step up as well. I mean, I'd like to see Winter War do more. I mean, they've always been a good clan. They've always been a clan that can upset people, and I'd like to see them upset people. And I was speaking to True Positive, and they're trying to get Alan X up as well. And I'd like to see these clans come up and take away the dominance from Legion and Endgame. It'd be interesting. I'd like to see that because it's like when Raid won the Twister, and Raid were like the clan then, and you know they dominated shit after Twister when they won it, and now they're tailing off a little bit. I mean, they're still a fantastic clan. Don't get me wrong. They've still got fantastic players, but you've got other clans taking over from them now, like Legion and Endgame. Legion primarily. Endgame are there, but Legion are really dominating. And I'd like to see that domination, that dominance change. That's what I'd like to see. And I think there's some good clans in EU coming up. I think a lot of people would say that the top 8 is sort of settled. I don't think it is at the moment, because I think you've got some good clans in and around there who are not just challengers clans. They can actually get into the top 8 if they really tried. If they get the right teams, the right players, and they have the right focus, I think they can do it, personally. And that's why I'm looking forward to this year's Twister. I think there's going to be, it might be a bit of a shake-up, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you may see, you know, Imor may drop off, which is a shame. I like Imor. They're a nice bunch of lads. But when I watched them in the spring series, they were not the clan they used to be. Let's be honest.
Which one?
Imor.
Oh yeah.
And they weren't. I mean, they weren't the clan that they used to be in the Pro Series. They looked very sort of rabbit in headlights, startled, which is unlike them. APA, well, APA got into the top 8, but they've sort of tailed off a bit again now. And obviously there's a lot of baggage that come with APA. Loca's another one. You know, again, there's been a bit of baggage recently with Loca. And these teams, FBI, APA, Imor, Souls, and Loca, yeah, they're in top 8, but they can be taken out in the top 8 easily by the likes of Winter War, etc., etc. You know, they can be taken out. And that's why I'm looking forward to it, because I think there could be that change.
I'm looking forward for FBI to fucking dominant Twister.
And as you say, I mean, okay,
they can.
You know, R2K are looking strong again now. So I'm looking for R2K to challenge a lot with what's being built there by Zerd. And R4K, there's no reason why they can't step up either. So it's going to be an interesting Twister, I think, in that regard. That's what I'm looking forward to. I don't think Satan is. I've put him forward. I did speak to Wargaming about Satan, but I've heard nothing at the moment. They said that the streamers for the EU is pretty full, but he can probably stream the Ascent tours. So, and I think Satan's speaking to. We put him in contact with the guys at Wargaming, and I think he's having a chat with them to try and work something out. But yeah, I mean, Satan may probably do that. We'll see. And of course, you've got every streaming, me streaming, Aminet streaming, Rib, R1B will be streaming. I don't know if Rolling will be streaming. He should be, because I think he's like the mascot for R2K at the moment. Like I'm a kind of mascot for Zenith at the moment, and he's the mascot for R2K. So he may stream. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But that's for the summer season. I mean, when it gets to Twister, everything changes again. So watch this space. Once we know more, you'll know more. But I think it's going to be an exciting Twister, to be honest with you. I think it will be. Especially, I mean, I don't know much about the NA side. I know a little bit about the Asia side because I'm playing over there at the moment. I don't know much about the RU, but RU's normally just the likes of Mercy, etc., etc. But I think the EU is going to be interesting. There's a lot of clans that can make it, to be honest. And I think they're getting around this. What was I going to say? I think they're going to Wargaming going to get around this sharing of cups or whatever. You know the thing. It wasn't illegal. It's not against the rules that happened in the spring season with the likes of FBI in Raid. I think that's being changed for the coming seasons, whereby if you can't just bring players in who've earned cups playing for a different clan or something. I think that's going to be changed. So, because the chances are, not being funny, the chances are if that wouldn't have happened, the likes of Raid may not have been in the top 8. They could have been Winter War, or Win. Written in Blood could have been there. That's how critical that was. That was incredibly critical. So, Raid only lost one thing and missed out on one ticketed tournament, but that would have lost them 2,500, 2,800 cups. And Winter War, I believe it was either Written in Blood or Winter War, only needed 1,500 cups.
Alexan was 9th place.
Yeah. So it made a big difference. I mean, it denied a top 8 to a challenger clan, and it could have changed the dynamics a lot. So I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to change it for the next seasons, which is not a bad thing, because I mean, it's not illegal. It's not against the rules. It's none of that. But it stuck in a lot of people's throats. A lot of people were not happy with it. Let's be honest. For whatever reason, but that was then. This is now. It's not the Road to Twister, not the Spring Series. So there we go.
Yes.
So other than you leaving Vale, there's no more drama. Drama's tailed off. Drama is tailed off. It's settled down. Blitz community is settled down.
I'm still angry at the heavy tank buff. It's just so stupid.
I like the heavy tank buff. I think it's good. I think it's done what it needed to do. The only thing that the only downside to the heavy tank buff that I've found is that it changes the parameters in the Hall of Fame and things like that, because there's just so much HP out there now. I mean, for example, if you roll out in a tier 10 battle, and you roll, because the matchmaker at the moment is still struggling because there's lots of new players and less experienced players. When you roll out in a tier 10, and on the other team you've got, guys who have got a mouse, and there are 2 of them, and they've got no experience in a mouse and no clue, that's 6,000 HP up for grabs. And if you're good enough in a back chat or something like that, you can easily farm that. I mean, so you can get your damage up. You can get your damage up quite easily now. There's a lot of farming. It's like I've just watched here, Phantom Regulus in an FV4202 farm a mouse on this replay. It's just farmed him. And you can do that nowadays.
By the way, Fugit, I sent you a replay of my Jaeger on Desert Sands. And
yes, I've got that. It's in the list, along with Jory's tune in a 4202.
I'm actually getting the 4202 very soon. I'm still grinding the credits for it right now.
The 4202 is a really tricky tank. It's a beautiful tank. I mean, the other day I rolled out, we lost. I did 6,200 damage and only got a first class because we lost. And it was quite funny because the entire game, all I had was a guy moaning at me, saying, "You're clueless, you don't know what you're doing." I was like, "Yeah, I just did 6,200k damage." What are you talking about, man? And it was funny, absolutely hilarious. But it's a tricky tank. It is a tricky tank, and a lot of people struggle in it because they don't understand how to use the hash.
I love the hash plus. You just can't stop using it. Which is kind of a problem, as I'm bleeding through my credits very quickly.
Oh, it does bleed your credits, yeah. But then again, I mean, if you notice, the British Lights bleed your credits also. They're very expensive to run those tanks.
British Lights are just...
They're still
let's have
on my list to get.
Let's have the British mediums better.
Well, the thing about the British Lights is because they've got such a short reload. Say again,
if you like burning credits for Hesh, why not just go play the standard B, which basically has Hesh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that as well. But I mean, the British Lights, because they've got such a fast reload, you can easily spend a shed load of credits in a game. I mean, Ting sent me a replay. He took something like 72 shots in the game, and then he wondered why he had no credits at the end of it. It's because you've just spent it all. And you got a mastery. It's just absolutely rad. But no, I mean, I like the introduction of the British Lights. I think they're great.
Okay, system, but just please nerf that turret.
Correct British Lights.
Because it feels like I'm fighting a medium, which isn't.
Well, I'll tell you what I have noticed. I mean, rolling out in the queue, in the quick, I know there are only quick tours, but there's now less Sheridans in the tournaments at tier 10. I've seen a fair few. I've seen more Vickers actually in the tour, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's a good tank. The Vickers Light is a good tank, and okay, it hasn't got that fire and forget missile system that the Sheridan has, but it does have really good penetration and
DPM.
It's got great DPM.
View range.
And the view
And
range
view
is
range,
fantastic,
so
and it's
why
really
not?
quick. I mean, it is quick. It's not some shrinking violet. It's a quick tank. It can get you out of trouble
That
as
tank
quickly
is
as it got you
just
into trouble.
That tank is basically, these tanks are just British mediums, but smaller and faster, and for some reason have better turret.
I mean, no, they're lovely. They are lovely tanks, and you know, this is another thing I'm waiting for the next pro season, to see the change in the meta, because there's going to be some change. And
I mean, when the Super Conqueror gets here, it's going to also probably change things.
Yeah,
Word
I'm
on.
not sure. It has the armor, but the gun on paper doesn't exactly look that great.
Well, the turret is too good for
Yeah,
me.
the turret looks.
Well, I'm just wondering if they're going to get the
Basically take
Crown.
Centurion and make it better.
I'm wondering if they're
Okay,
going to get the Crown.
the Emil and the Kranwagen are in testing right now. So.
Well, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see when that comes out and how that's going to look.
I mean, I played against somebody with the Emil 1951, and oh my Jesus! Like, even on flat ground, its turret is impenetrable, which it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's under test. It's under test at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I mean, like, okay, for some reason, I have a Borsig, right? 311 millimeters of heat pen. Can't go through cheeks. Can't go through front plate on completely flat ground levels to each other. And I'm like, bruh, how am I supposed to pen this?
But that'll change. I mean, because the testers will report back on that. And that'll change before it's released.
Just lose 15 DPM.
You know, it will change before it's released. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I was in what was I in the other? I was in something the other day, and somebody was testing. I can't remember what it was now. I can't remember what they were testing now. They were testing something. It was a nightmare. And I was in what was I in? I was in a Mauschen, I think. And I struggled to pen
if
it.
it's you in the mountain, you were either fighting the Kranwagen or somebody was
Emil.
Emil. I was in Emil.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was the Stir Emil.
The Emil.
It was the Emil. And it was difficult to pen. It was difficult to pen. And it's quick. But it seemed to have a long reload. So.
Yes, it does. The thing is, I feel like the angle that they have on the front cheeks of the turret is actually steeper than it actually is. At least in the test right now, because according to, like, for the PC statistics, I don't know if they're using that, the front cheeks of the turret is only angled to, like, 70 degrees. Like, not even, like barely anything.
Wowzers. Well, it'd be interesting to see.
I mean, the idea is that if you're using gun depression, then that angle spikes to like 90, 95, like auto bound zones. But the fact that they have it to where on flat ground, its turret is already auto bound zones, regardless of your ammunition.
Yeah.
That needs to be fixed.
No, it did. Hey, oops. It did look. It did look formidable, to be honest with you. And we're on Alpenstadt, and it was yeah. I mean, the guy playing it was in Kraken, so good player anyway. And I know the guy, but yeah, it was a tricky tank to play against.
Okay, quick questions. Question: which tank should I buy? Jagdpanzer E100 or Grill?
Jaeger.
It depends. It depends what you like. If you want mobility, then the Grill. If you want dirt and armor and intimidation, then the Jaeger. I mean, I love the Jaeger. I prefer the Jaeger to the Grill any day of the week and twice on Sundays. And it's not a tank it's not a Death Star. You don't need to sit at the back in a Jaeger.
Because you have armor.
And you do have formidable armor. The only downside is the bottom plate, and the cheeks can be pramoed. like the E100's cheeks.
I know that people like to spam from the thing, so yeah.
Yeah, but if you wiggle and jiggle it, as long as you're not showing your bottom plate, you wiggle and jiggle the Jaeger-Roo, you've got a formidable gun. I mean, this is why it's always amazed me why people say about the Death Star. The Jaeger-Roo has the same ability as a Death Star to churn out the same amount of damage. And it does it quicker. And it does it encased in a shed load of Krupp steel. It's a much better tank. Much better tank.
It is much better.
And, if somebody was to say to me tomorrow morning, here's a Death Star or here's a Jaeger-Roo, which do you want? I'd take the Jaeger-Roo all the time. And, like I said, it's a tank. You don't need to camp in a Jaeger-Roo. You really don't.
Fugit,
I mean, in a grill, a grill is kind of assumed.
Fugit, I sent you another game of the Jaeger. That's like, yeah,
nice.
That's another good game.
Who's that?
Someone's mics.
Certainly picked up more snow.
It's another being from another dimension.
Oh no. It's just bad mic. That happens.
So I mean, a lot of people think that I really like playing the waffle tractor so I can get the grill. That they are different tanks. They have a different play style as well, really. The grill is a tricky tank. It's effective in the right hands. Don't get me wrong. It is effective in the right hands, but it is a tricky tank. And I mean, as an introduction to German TDs at tier 10.
I mean, personally, the only thing that I don't like about it is the black HE10.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it used to have better.
The HE penetration for some reason. Like I don't know where I heard. Like
they got a big nerf.
HE.
They got a big nerf a long time back. Yeah, but it did have a big nerf a long time back.
Yeah, but like I don't understand why the tier 9. The tier 9 has what 75 millimeter HE pen, I think, and then the grill has 65. And I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna play a big gun like that, why don't I just go hop in, say, a Object 268 or something, or
totally.
Heaven forbid the Chinese one.
Totally, yeah. And I mean, that's the thing about the grill. The grill is a tricky tank to play at the moment. It never used to be. It used to be really menacing, but they nerfed it quite considerably. They lowered its DPM, they lowered its damage, they did lots. Which was a shame because it was a great tank. And now, like I said, though, there are players out there, the good players, the really good players, who can make a grill sing. But the majority won't be able to. And once you're spotted, that's it.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I wish there were more TDs like the grill that are just basically a gun on a truck bed.
Oh, we've got what? The grill, the waffle tractor, the Borsig, the SU-130 PM, the Scorpion G.
Well, no, I mean like at the tier 10 level, like actual, like artillery-ish types of vehicles.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
With no armor, you mean?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Down.
Because like I mean,
405.
I love playing the Emil. I love playing the. I still play the Dicker Max to this day.
PP Maximus.
But the Emil and the Dicker Max are interesting tanks. I mean, when the Dicker Max first came out, it was shockingly bad. By the way, it was awful tank. It had a bad reload. It was sluggish. It was slow. It was just a truly shocking tank. And then the Emil came out, and then they went back and buffed the Dicker Max. And the Dicker Max is not the tank it used to be. And it's the same with a lot of tanks. So, for example, the Camp 70, when that first came out, it was a shockingly bad tank. Really awful tank. And then they tinkered with it.
Joke. Tiger 2.
Yeah.
They tinkered with it, and now it's quite a nice tank. Still a tricky tank to play. Still not an easy tank to play. But
you want to hear a joke? Tiger 2. Pre and after.
Oh, the Tiger 2 is a fantastic tank now.
I prefer the Tiger 2 actually before the armor buff.
Well, the Tiger 2 is a nice tank now, and the Tiger 1 is also a nice tank now. You know, the buff that the Tiger 1 got has made
basically,
it...
like, I don't know why didn't they buff the Tiger P?
Didn't need it.
It really doesn't need a buff.
Please tell me how.
It really doesn't.
Yes.
Tiger P is still formidable. With its sharp angles and in those little traps, it's formidable. They didn't need to touch it.
Okay, to be fair, a tank that I think really needs to be looked at again is probably the Type 58. As much as I want to get the T-34-1 and the IS-2 whatever, I can't for the life of me play the Type 58. Its pen is just god awful.
Yeah, the pen is bad. It is basically the T-34-85 Victory with how do you call it?
Gun.
Yeah.
I love it.
I actually like the Type 58. It's just a tricky tank to play again. It's not a T-34. It's
it has the same principle.
It has the same principle, yes.
You're probably a second or third line support. You're probably not going to stick your head in the front. But like at the ranges that I actually have to play the Type 58 at, which is your mid range where you have second versus second line and whatever, the shell's just not fast enough sometimes, or its not penetration is just bad.
Like 58, you need to play like T-34, but avoid facing armored opponents.
I mean,
yeah, but I mean at tier 6 you can be okay. The fact that the Type 58, I could bounce the lower plate of like half the mediums of the tier 7. Like
the 58 is meant to be played like
after a while.
Don't forget though, the Type 58, this is where a lot of people make the error. Unlike the T-34-85 or the Rudy, the Type 58 is a flanking tank. It's a bit like a bulldog in that respect. It's meant to be going round the flanks and trying to get shots in from the side or from the rear. And it is a tricky tank. I get it. It's not the T-34-85, and it's certainly not a Rudy. But I like it. I think you stick it in the right place, it can be a very effective tank indeed. And if you go haul down, I mean the turret's quite nice on it.
Sit up here in a corner.
I mean the turret on it is quite nice.
Here, medium, this heavy tank buff.
This is the NA side, but I've seen more people camping with the Type 58 than I've actually seen people pushing with it. Like, it's so annoying when I'm in my WZ131 GFT and I have to sit because this Type 58 is like, oh, I don't want to go against this IS.
No, there is a lot of that though.
And it sits in my camping.
There is a lot of that. But no, it's an okay tank. It's not the easiest tank. Certainly not the best.
I mean, I will say I think it does kind of have the same syndrome as the 131 GFT, in where you kind of have to have a team for it to work. Like, you got to have a team for like Type 58. You got to have a team that's going to be able to hold the front line long enough for you to get around it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
They cannot do much to you.
But it's like when I do some videos saying that know your role, and this is what I find with Blitz at the moment. Players don't know the role that they're meant to play, and I mean everybody's mentioned it. You need the team to do X, Y, and Z. And the thing is, when the game first came out, there's an order to things. The reason why there's a light tank, a medium tank, a heavy tank, and a TD. And it just always gets me that people don't know what their role is in that tank. And
I mean, part of that has to I think part of that is because you have tanks that are like, say, for example, the Object 268, where they're like, oh, it's a TD, I should stay back in camp. But, oh, wait, I have armor, I can push a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
they're gonna get mad at me
that's what I'm
because
getting to,
not-
though.
Because I'm camping in the back.
It seems to, nowadays, it seems that the players are less interested in learning in the mechanics and the parameters of the vehicle. They don't understand the armour. They don't understand why, for example, take the 263. Why has it got a fast reload, and why has it got absolutely massive frontal armour? There's a reason for that. And why is it really
Because
quick?
you're meant to shove your face into people. You're meant to shove your face in front of people and have them auto bounce off your gun mallet.
Absolutely. And this is the thing. And they don't understand that. And so they sit at the back of their camp, which makes that tank ineffective in that respect.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the gun depression to do it.
No, and it's you know, and you just it's meant to be sitting literally just behind the heavies. That tank.
If not in front of the heavies.
And this is the thing, and this is, you know, you find this now in the game that you know, people, especially newer players, there seems to be nobody seems to go on to Blitzhanger or Blitz Stars and Tank Compare and all that to actually learn about the tank before they roll out in it. And that's the thing
I will
I'm
say
doing.
that probably part of that problem. I'm gonna probably be not the only one that says this, but I think part of that problem is because they removed half of the lower tier.
Yes.
Oh,
I
absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's like when they nerfed the KV-1. I mean, the KV-1 is a tier 5 training wheels tank. It's there to teach you how to side script.
And then you overbuff like the T1 heavy. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, but you know what tank they didn't really mess with is the Matilda. Matilda is still.
Yeah, but the Matilda is
unless you're
the
bottom tier in the Matilda.
The thing is, the Matilda is training wheels for a mouse. Just point it in one direction and go slowly forward, and just be, you know, a meat grinder. That's it.
And just fire on reload and hopefully pen something.
Absolutely, that's all it
Hopefully
is.
hit something, not pen something.
That's it. I mean, but this is the thing, and like I said, I mean, you know, it's like I'm watching a replay now. There's a guy there in a Borsig, just sat out in the open, and an M103 is saying, it's oops. The M103 is just saying, I'm going to shoot this. I'm just going to shoot you. You're in a Borsig.
I mean,
sit in the open.
I like how people don't know their role, but as soon as I am spotted in a Borsig, everyone's like, "Oh, HE target."
Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of tunnel vision now.
HE go, kaboom. Yeah, like I mean, I was playing on Dead Rail yesterday with the Borsig. At that point, I didn't have the top gun yet. So I go up to the bush spot that every TD in their right mind goes up to.
Yeah.
And on the heavy side, and heavy's push like I expected them to. I put 2 shots in, don't get spotted. A teammate then goes into all chat and says, blank blank mother effer sitting in the bush on our side camping his butt off. And then I get blind shotted by 3 HE shells and instantly die.
Lol.
Absolutely. It's
Lol
just,
moment.
There's some people out there who are just, well, they're just crazy, eh?
Dude.
But
I'd be like, bro, I'm a Borsig. What am I supposed to do? Push?
Absolutely. But it goes back to, I mean, whilst I don't fully agree with the tactics that Wargaming showed for Normandy, like going to the beach, don't fully agree with that.
Why beach?
I did like that video for two.
Okay, I will say a light tank going. I will say a light tank going beach is actually not a bad idea.
No, don't get me wrong. It's not a bad idea. But when you've got the majority of the team, but you know, last thing I want to see is everybody going to the beach. But what I was going to say is, whilst I may not fully agree with the tactics, what I loved about that video, and think Wargaming hit the nail on the head, it finally told people, guys, there are different tanks and they do different jobs and they have to do different things. You know, light tanks are meant to run around spotting everything and getting around the back of things. Medium tanks are meant to be a nuisance and farm. Heavy tanks are meant to hold. TDs are meant to support. And just that basic is missing from the game.
It also depends on what tanks, what kind of heavy tanks, what kind of TDs, what kind of light tanks, you know.
But at least they started with the basic. It's like, you know, you hear he's gone. He doesn't do many videos anymore. Bless him. So Bushka, and I know Skate's coming back, and Skate uses the term as well, and he talks about the heavy route. And if you ever watch one of Rolling's live streams, he will talk to about the heavy route and the medium route, etc., etc. And that's missing from the game now, to be honest with you. And to an extent, the game gets a little bit stale. So, for example, one of the best videos I saw Bushka do was one of his more recent videos on Oasis Palms. And if you notice, he drops down into a lot of good players do this. He drops down into the dip and he spots from the ditch that goes through the middle of the map. Hardly anybody did that. And now, because people aren't watching those videos, now it's gone back to go to the canyon or go to the desert. That's it. Forget the dip, forget the spotting, forget all those sort of mechanics. And it goes back to that routine. And, you know, every map is the same. Tell me, when you roll out on Rockfield, how many teams go to the C cap straight away? As a just C cap. Virtually every team goes to the C cap.
Too many to count.
Oh, NA, nobody does. Like I have very few games where people just push C cap.
Yeah, it's like I was on the Asia server and I was in the VK 100 grinding on a live stream, and I said go to the A cap because their tanks were primarily going to go to the C cap. And I said go to the A cap because there's going to be at least 3 tanks pushing A, and we can wipe them out and then we can then cover. And the problem that we had was they all said no, go to C. It's like we're going to die, and there's nothing you can do about it. And there's no variation in.
I mean, you also. Okay, you were saying.
Well, you know, and maybe it's once I'm up and running again, once I get my stuff back. Maybe it's something that, you know, the likes, because the Bushka videos did that. And love him or loathe him, one of the good things that Bushka did was he did try to teach people variation tactics on how to play. And I like that. Because the game gets stale.
Yes.
I mean, it's how many people
Yes,
how many of the normal players didn't go to the B cap until Bushka on Canyon until Bushka said go to the B cap. And now everybody wants to go to the B cap. it's just one of those things. Yet when I go on the Asian, when I go in the lower tiers and on Canyon with the newer players, nobody goes to the B cap to spot. You have to say to them, spot B. No, I want to go to C. I want to go to A. It's craziness.
Yeah, but you also have to think that a lot of these people, and I mean, I've told my friends this before, people like to look at, oh, the pro blah, blah, blah said do this, so we're always going to do this, even though it's not the best thing to do.
Well, that's the thing. But
that type of thing is rampant all over the gaming community as a whole. I mean, in like Call of Duty, if a dude says, oh, if you toss a nade in this specific spot, you're going to get a kill every time. Match starts, 8 people throw a nade in the same spot, nobody gets a kill, and they're like, well, what?
But this is what gets me, though. I mean, funny. This is why I started doing YouTube, because with the greatest respect to everybody, the difference between a pro player and, you know, the guys with the 70+% win rates after over 15,000 battles.
Stat padders.
No, the genuine ones. They have an awareness in the game that is slightly different. And I have seen those guys. Sam, the clan lead of Zenith, he can do things with an Object 140 that I didn't think was possible, to be honest with you. and he can throw that thing around. And because he's a good player, and because he knows almost his shots land, he knows where to aim, and he knows how to play the tank, along with lots of other tanks. But they also have an awareness of the battlefield. And, you know, I've got Vermilio and Jory on at the moment, both very high win-rated players after a lot of battles, and both, you know, Jory's a pro. And they're situational. You're a challenger. But their situational awareness of the game is different. And that's one thing Bushka used to try and teach, by the way. He used to turn around and say, why would you push until you know where all the tanks are? And you can see on the minimap, this one spotted, that one spotted, blah, blah, blah. And you know, that's missing at the moment. And, you know, I blame us YouTubers, to be honest with you. We don't... It's great showing videos of great replays and tank reviews, but tank reviews sound tanks.
Reflective of everyday experience in the game.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what's needed. I think, you know, that's one of the directions I'm going to move into, rather than just showing you, well, this is a tank, this is how it plays, it's a nice tank, go get it.
Yeah, and I mean this is kind of why when I started watching like Meadsy and Droodles, when they would do tank reviews, is part of me would be like, this tank looks overpowered. The other half of me would be like, why am I watching this? This is not reflective of any type of experience I'm ever going to have in this tank.
Absolutely.
Or very often have in this tank, if ever.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, you know, there are replays and there. Well, I can do a map review, but I mean, it'd have to be very broad. To be honest with you, it would have to be very broad, the map reviews, because of various things. I mean, there are so many different positions on the maps for so many different tanks, and I mean, this is just to put you in the picture. I'm just now playing Jory's replay in the FV4202.
Yes, that
on Normandy, and you know, one of the things that when you watch these guys replays, don't watch them because you want to see they've done all these damage. Watch them because you take tips on how they play the tank and their positioning in the tank. And that's what you shouldn't be watching it because it's an eye damage game or because it's a mastery. You should be watching it to say,
well, it's not so high damage.
Well, no, but you should be watching it to say, well, this is, you know, this position is worked well with this tank. And you can see here on Normandy, he's gone to the middle, he's in an FV, which is a great haul-down tank. It's got good gun depression. And the two of them, I haven't seen this replay, by the way. This is the first time I've seen it. It looks like they're going to just try and hold this ridge line, basically, and be a menace. And what frustrates me is everybody wants the big damage games. They all want the kills. And the game is more than that. It's a team game. It's always been a team game. But hey, and I think this is missing to an extent at the moment in YouTube, with Bushka disappearing.
Yeah,
Skate is now back, and Skate is good at this stuff. Skate, this is what Skate does as well. And as he gets more into it, we'll see more of those videos coming back. But with Bushka going, I think that's like a big chunk of. And like I said, love him or loathe him, agree with his tactics or not agree with his tactics. It's not the point. Getting the message out to the player base was the point. And he did that in spades, to be fair. Not many do.
And I mean, there were times where I could say that the community didn't like what he said when he was basically straight up with people. I mean...
Well, the community's fickle.
I mean, there was a point where he was... Oh, yeah, that is true.
I mean, the community's always been fickle. But, you know, a lot of people didn't like Bushka's style. But they can never take away from the fact that he taught people... You may not agree with everything he says, but there would be one or two tips that he gave that you use. And how does he get those tips? I mean, he's not massively great player. But he knows how to analyse the game. And that's the biggest thing he had. He knows how to analyze the game and put it into words that are pretty straightforward to understand. And like I said, I think that's missing at the moment. Great ammo rack, Jory.
Bushka was like the main reason I mean, Bushka was the main way that I actually figured out how shell normalization worked. I mean,
that's what I mean. I mean, that's what I mean, and that's what I think is missing at the moment. And don't get me wrong. I'm subscribed to virtually all the YouTubers. Those who I know, and you know, Droodles does it a little bit, but not that much. And Meadsy really does more reviews and top 5 tanks and all this sort of stuff. And the closest you get to tactics, realistically, is Pantherfleet. But only when he's doing his live streams in real terms, because then you get to see how he plays the tank and what he's doing. And I was watching one of his live streams recently, and he says he has the same sentiments I have, where people are saying, you know, he's saying, why am I pushing the middle? I'm a TD. I should not be pushing the middle. And again,
yeah, I mean, why are you as a medium trying to push me out of a bush in the top of dead rail?
Exactly.
When I'm a Borsig.
Yeah. So I think that's what's needed. I think, you know, and like I said, maybe it's something Skate will, because when Skate was in his groove, those were the type of videos he did as well. It wasn't just Bushka. Skate did those videos too. And it'll be interesting to see now Skate's back, slowly, that maybe it will come out. So, but I mean, it's something I've been pondering as well. But I'm not the best at tactics. But we'll see.
I mean, you're the tank historian. We don't really expect that much from you.
But it does gripe me, because I do say, you know, what does gripe me is, you know, the people. It was a Bushka video again. Play the tank, not the class and not the tier. Play the tank, because whilst it may be a heavy, as Vermilio mentioned earlier, some heavies are different to other heavies. They are different.
VKs, mostly.
I mean, it's like the AMX M449 versus the Eagle.
See, you won your game, Jory. That's where you got the mastery. I lost my 6,200 and I didn't get an ace.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, we lost massively. Massively, unfortunately, which was a shame, because it would have been it was a good game. It was on dead rail as well. I just howled the ridge and 4 kills, and still.
Okay, honestly, I'd be willing to say that Dead Rail is probably one of the better TD maps.
Yeah, but it's also a TD map that, with the greatest respect, you can anticipate where they're going to be. You know, this is the thing.
It makes it harder for you to do your job, and you make it harder for them to do their job.
Well, it does to an extent.
It kind of balances out.
It does to an extent. But, you know, that some of the TD positions are easy to counter on dead rail. But, and this comes back to it again, only if the teams and the team players in your team in the right tank is doing the right job. In other words, if you've got all the mediums and all the lights all going to the C cap, they ain't doing their job, are they? Especially if they just go to the C cap in camp and don't push through once they've spotted what's up there.
Oh, what's the name of the map where everyone's like never go town, always go top hill?
Middleburg.
Middleburg, like
yeah, lol.
I mean, okay, if our team has 2 light tanks, why are we all pushing top hill?
High ground. The guy on the high ground has the better advantage.
Yeah, but when you get a mouse, or when you get a VK100 who's going to take 6 years and usually gets railed by a T49 that comes through the city.
Okay, can I say something?
Of course.
A scenario?
Of course.
Okay, so you have 2 against 3 and you don't promise your 2 to hold, so you go city. And instead of tell them, hold the line, I'm coming up. So they take a position to hold, not to provoke the enemies. With the help of a 1 TD behind them, they can elong that fight enough for your big ass heavy to go up and do something. And believe it, a heavy against, in this meta, a heavy against a medium. Medium has no problem. Like, if you are face to face, a medium has nothing to do. He has no HP. He needs to shoot premium ammo to aim, and your DPS.
And he loses DPM.
No, you lose so much DPS. In the meantime, all of your team is going to get in position, but you need to communicate this information really fast, really clear. So when you are in it, say hold. Tell your mediums not to push. Go up, but hold. I'm coming up. When you see me, go now.
Yeah, but I mean, in a casual setting, that usually never happens, and that's my issue.
This splits.
Well, yeah.
The rules
I mean,
don't apply.
when people get mad at me that I'm in, say, like I said, my VK 100, and they're all screaming at me, "Go hill! Why aren't you going hill?" And I'm halfway up the hill, and they've already pushed into their spawn.
Well,
okay.
Another map.
Something else.
Well,
You
another.
can peek
Go on, Opni.
when get spotted when you are going up the hill. At least you're gonna distract a TD and the one light. At least.
Yeah.
You
But it's
can
like
climb
I was in a
without
game.
getting spotted.
I was in a tier 10, I think, battle, and I can't remember if we were on Asian server or EU. I can't remember, but it was a live stream, and we were on Alpenstadt. And I said, and the teammate said to me, my platoon mate said, "Oh, they've got a Ho-Reen, they've got a Jaegeru, and they've got light tanks. Oh, we're going to just brawl it by the ACAP." And I said, "I'm not going to the ACAP. I want the heavies to go to the base, because if you go to the base, you've taken out their TDs completely. Their TDs can't do anything. All you then need is your light tanks. They don't need to push the TDs. They just need to spot them. That's it. And then you're going to sucker them into the middle of the middle of the base, and you're going to destroy them if you're set up correctly." And we murdered that team. Literally murdered that team. But, it is the same as you're saying there with Middleburg. Everybody goes up to the C cap, and then it turns into a brawl. You don't need to do that.
And people...
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying as well.
Yeah, Fuji, what you are explaining right now is line of sights. Okay, a TD has a line of sights over his teammate.
Yeah.
His teammate push one hill too much. He's useless.
Absolutely. But this is what this
So,
but this is what we find nowadays.
If your corridor maps, like, okay, you have a straight line of sight, okay, but if you are not seeing the tanks that are halfway through your team, although they are closer to you, but you cannot see them. So
But the other thing, Lockney, it also boils down to the other thing that I always gripe about. Players nowadays, I'm not talking about the best, the good players or that. I'm on about the newer players coming through. They're not reading the team lists before they start. They're not anticipating where the teams are going to go. They're not anticipating where they're going to be fighting and where they're going to be spotted, etc., etc. And it's like it's just a brawl 9 times out of 10 now.
The heavy tank buff, I just feel this game became a big brawl. No, and lost the fun. When the mediums were good,
Yeah, I agree with that.
then you can run, like, be faster heavies, but now because heavies have so much HP with armor, then it's just a big brawl, nothing more. I don't enjoy my mediums as much. I just play
Really?
heavies.
If you're not enjoying your medium with meaty heavies with more HP, then you were not enjoying them before, because I don't know.
I enjoyed them before because
more HP for
before,
you.
like, the whole point of medium was to hold the flank until like the heavies arrive. And
Well, I'll tell you what.
the thing that I like doing in the medium was to punish heavies that were incoming.
Well, I'll tell you
Now
what.
they have so much HP that punishing them wouldn't benefit that much.
Well,
They'll
Vermilio's in the
still
chat.
have-
And
like,
Vermilio, his favourite tanks at tier 10 used to be the 140 in the T62A. Are they still your favourite tanks, Vermilio?
The what? This?
140. You used to play the Object 140 all the time.
Yeah, I did. It's my most played tank.
Yeah. And are you still playing it since the heavy buff?
No.
Why?
Not anymore. I'm playing 628 because it's better. In my opinion.
No, not in here, blah blah.
But I mean, are you, because you used to be a good med player, are you still liking the meds though at tier 10?
Yeah, but
He is now playing one.
Yeah. So you're still liking the meds?
Yeah, I do, but I prefer right now the WZ113 or the 628.
Well, the 113 is a beautiful tank. It's more of
It's a
a
heavy-um.
It's a heavy-um, yes. It's a heavy-um. And but it's a beautiful tank. Whereas in the 62A, if you're playing the 62A, then are you finding that with the heavy buff, it's made your med play harder?
Yes, in my opinion. Yeah, kinda. And
Okay.
Sometimes
sometimes.
sometimes it's better because you can farm more damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just thinking about big damage.
Yeah, no shit,
Yeah.
better stats.
Well, yes and
Why
no.
is that?
They're also thinking about maneuvering into positions where you can farm the damage. I mean, Sam said this the other day in one of our training sessions. Medium tanks are meant to be farmers. That's what they're meant to do anyway.
Yeah.
Also, they were meant to be like punishing the heavies for advancing, and now heavies have...
No, heavies
The
do
heavy
that.
for advancing is TDs. TDs, baby. That's the TDs.
Your job is more to spot the heavies that are being able to be punished, and let the TDs do that.
TDs
But
is
did you go? No.
make sure that your team's movement is covered. Like your team, even if your teammate is not gonna trade, even if he bounces, you're gonna score your shot. That's your job. Even if you are not, you don't have to be in a camping position to do that. You can drive with your medium and do that. Like go into the medium flank with 640 alpha and surprise a 350 with a 640 trade. Okay, I win no matter what. And
Fugit.
then
Yeah.
for that trade, your mids can double tap him and he's basically gone. So that's your job as a TD. You're like big gun.
But this is where it comes back to people knowing the role of the tank. They have to have the TV in the right place, doing the right thing, and they have to have the heavies in the right place, doing the right thing, and the mediums doing the right thing. And in what is missing at the moment is newer players aren't sticking their tanks in the right places and not doing their roles correctly. That's what's missing, realistically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you will see it on numerous. You will see it in numerous games that you guys play. You'll see that inexperienced players will go to the wrong place, and then for example, I had one game the other week where there was a guy in a grill, and we were on Canal. He was at the A cap. He capped at the A cap all game, and the battle was at the D cap. What shots is he going to get?
What the fuck?
He might as well been playing in another game. Like,
Absolutely. And this is what I'm saying. I mean, that is just really poor positioning in that tank. And he's sat there thinking,
YOLO harder.
Someone's going to pop or they're going to come to the A eventually. I'll just sit here. There's no support. Zero support then. That is one massive tank, one massive gun out of the game completely. And he only came into action when everybody else was dead. Surprisingly. And that's when he kicked into action. And you know what? All he did to kick into action, he dropped down from the high ground on the A-cap to the rock, where the A-cap is, and waited for them to rush him. All 6 of them to rush him. And he obviously he couldn't hold it. And that was on the EU server the other night. And you know, it's that tells me that he doesn't know the role of the tank, and he doesn't know the map realistically, and he doesn't understand the role that the tank is meant to play. And that's what I think is missing at the moment. People are not being told how to play their tanks correctly. And I'm not saying, you know, play the tank, you know, go haul down, do this, do that. I'm just talking about the basics here. The role of the tank. What is the role of a heavy? What is the role of a medium? And that's what I liked about that Normandy video by Wargaming, because it actually told you that basic. The light tanks are meant to do this. The medium tanks are meant to do this. Heavies are meant to do this. TDs are meant to do that. And that, I thought, was a great video. You may not agree with all the tactics, like I didn't agree with all the tactics, but the basics were spot on.
But still, the video is not pushed throughout the game.
Exactly. There you go.
You don't get out of Normandy winning or losing. I get, oh, hold on, we have a video about Normandy. What? You want to watch it?
Absolutely. Yeah. There should be something like that. Yeah, mate.
Did you see the replay of the aggro on the fast?
Yes. I just played it.
Yeah, you saw how much damage blocked I have.
I did.
While I'm in TD.
Yeah. That's how you got your second mastery. It wasn't because you did 6,000 odd damage. It was because you blocked so much as well.
Yeah.
So
this was just bullshit.
Anyway, go on. Okay. Last one. Then we'll knock it on the head for today. Lopney, you were saying something.
Yeah, I uploaded a 7K in my VT. It was awesome because of the tank roll you were talking about.
Actually, then we'll stay. Wait till this video finishes, and I'll play that because I've just seen it. It's just come up. And yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I think, like I said, with Bushka stepping back and Skate being absent for quite a long time. I mean, these was, you know, not disrespecting any other YouTuber, but these were the 2 guys who really sort of gave that bread and butter stuff for a long time. So it's something I should consider as well, to be honest with you. But like I said, I you know, it's something I need to work on.
But it's all of your efforts as a species. If it's not pushed through the game, it's not gonna matter.
There is that.
Me.
It's still got to be pushed through the game. That's true. You know, there's still got to be, people are still got to be made aware of what is out there. And if they're not made aware of it, then they're not going to watch it.
Stupid pain.
To tell you an analogy, like you'll go out with your friends and try to clean up the whole beach, okay?
Yes.
While meantime, I don't know, a company like, I don't know, a restaurant or something can just adjust their packaging and make way more impactful than your whole year. Just one decision. One dude in the design department of a big franchise can make a little adjustment to some, I don't know, packaging of some product.
Yeah.
And his impact is way more, like, it's bigger than the whole thing. I'm not undermining your cleaning the beach with your friends every weekend for the whole year. Okay, you clean up like, I don't know, 4 tons, 5 tons. Yeah, with his decision, he cleaned up like, I don't know, 20 tons. See, like, this kind of positions can make a huge, like, Uncle Ben once said, with great powers comes great responsibility. So that
absolutely. Yeah, well, you're right there, Lockney. You're telling the Chrysler to, if you're going to camp, drive a TD. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah. 310 Alpha. I don't need the 310 Alpha TD.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I'm saying. I mean, what is that Chrysler K doing there? He shouldn't be there. He should not be there. He can see. You can now see. You know, many tanks are spotted. I don't know where my mini map's gone. By the way, no idea where it's vanished.
Press M. Just press M.
Oh, there it is. So look, we know for a fact that there are 3 tanks. We know where at least 4 tanks are on this map. 2 of them are dead. So that means it's 1 tank not accounted for,
And
which will be the TD.
A is being kept.
And we'll know where the TD is. He's in the TD spot. So that Chrysler K should have been either manoeuvring round towards the VK, trying to get side shots in, and side scraping off the buildings down there.
I wasn't shooting the VK. I don't want to get spotted before I clear a tank. For me, clearing a tank is more important than shooting the VK. And
Look at what their Chrysler K. Their Chrysler K's done exactly the right job. That's what.
Someone capping A and he's coming. There is no way he's not coming. That A
Exactly.
capper is coming. That you don't.
Yeah, semi-naked Russian woman. Don't worry about it. She does it all the time. But that's what your Chrysler should have done. Exactly what this. Now he's pushing too hard now. To be fair, because now he's in the open. And you would have been better sitting on the building. Because he was never going to win that battle.
I was afraid for object while the Chrysler is pushing me until I knew where he is.
Yeah. Well, that was the TD that was not that was unaccounted for throughout the most of the game.
Yeah. If I knew from the start that he's in that position, I would have a little bit acted differently. I was like,
absolutely
protected because I have 1 shot for him.
But now you see that VK, apart from you putting a shot in, has been uncontested throughout the entire game. Completely nobody's contested that VK. You put 1 shot into him, you've just put a 2nd shot in. Those are the only 2 shots that have gone in to that VK. And the Chrysler K is now, well, see, this is what I'm saying about, guys, you got to know the role you're meant to play and where you're meant to be and stuff like that. The Chrysler K should have gone down that track, forced the VK out, or even spotted the object to allow you as the TD to smack them. So, I mean, this is, but that's just, like I said, the VK's been uncontested, which is why he's still there.
E1 is poking smack the whole time.
Oh god, yeah. But these are the videos that, yeah, I'm gonna have to record most of these. and do a video on this.
It wasn't like
Oh, you got lucky there though. 76 hit points.
No, it wasn't luck. If it wasn't luck, I peeked, I knew that I can spot him and he cannot spot me. So with his bulk going out, he's gonna shoot and then I can get out and shoot him. So it was like mind play. It wasn't like luck or something. No. I knew that I won't be spotted.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That he will.
That's a good game. That's a good game.
I didn't move from the bush, but I wasn't camping.
No, but what? Look at the VK. I mean, because the VK was uncontested for so long, he managed to do almost 3,000 damage. A tier 8 tank in a tier 9 game. He played well. Anyway, gives me food for thought because we've had no drama. There's a lot of premium tanks out. I'm going to wrap it up there, actually, because we've talked about a lot of stuff, and we didn't talk about the main stuff which we normally do, which is MM and missile tanks, ratings, stuff like that.
That's maybe positive.
I did a small change to my setup with the VT, and it made a huge difference. I just added shell velocity instead of aiming time.
Yeah.
That helps a lot in trying to catch this little, I don't know, moguls. Like, they're running across the map. You need the shell velocity.
Well, that's another thing that I like. Well, that's another thing that Pantherfleet does very well. He does, and every good name is taken does it well as well. They tell you what equipment you should be putting on tanks.
No. The equipment for my VT, it depends on the playing style.
Yeah.
not for the tank itself. Like I can go if I'm rolling heavies all the time. I'm gonna take extra penetration on my shells.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
If I know that I have extra DPM, I can roll that mediums. That's
Absolutely.
That's something like with, and you have to remember something. With extra penetration, you might also use that with the HE against the mediums.
Mm-hmm.
So
But how are you gonna?
a
You
lot
don't
of
know.
things can affect your playing style depending on your equipment.
But you don't know what kind of match you will be in. I mean, how are you gonna?
I mean, generally, like when you are with your meds, load your HE any side of the Russians you can pin, like T-54s, Alpha, Object 140. Just give me your side. I can pin it with HE. American side.
Just a quick one. Spoiled Nut on YouTube says, which is better, the Chrysler K or the 112 Glacial? It depends, because they're two different type of tanks. The 112 Glacial is a big lumbering heavy like an IS-3, where the Chrysler K is more of a it's.
Oh, like Glacial favors more just be in front, because you have thick frontal, but you don't have sides, so you always
correct. But you don't have the reload either. Whereas you have a faster reload with the Chrysler K. But the Chrysler K is a tank that likes being hauled down and next to things that it can side scrape off. That's what it really likes. So they're two different tanks. So again,
with the small bite gun, keep your tank on the in the middle to the medium side. You can chew them really fast.
Yeah,
and keep up with. But if you have a big bite, no, stay out of there. Like by the time you are reloading, you lost your HP.
Yeah. So it depends on what you like. If you like heavy tanks, then it's the Glacial. If you like heavy hums, then it will be the Chrysler K. And like I said, I mean, the Chrysler K is not a tank that likes being in the open. It really doesn't. And we have a lot of maps that are pretty open. So, for example, a Chrysler K on, say, Oasis Palms doesn't like being in the desert. Let's put it that way. It needs to be in the city, side scraping, doing things like that.
And keep in mind what you're mounted, so that can produce huge issues for you.
Absolutely. You know, so yeah. But this is the thing about the tanks, as we were saying earlier. Each tank, just because it's designated a heavy or whatever, the parameters of the tank tells you how to play the tank. So, for example, the British tanks, with the exception of the British mediums, these are second line support tanks. Realistically, they are not meant to push. You saw the game earlier with Jory and his teammate. They were just holding a line all down. That was it. And that's what you should be looking at. You should know the parameters of the tank, and ask yourself the question: why has this tank got a really short reload? Mainly because it's got really low alpha. Why has this tank got a really long reload? Mainly because it's got really high alpha. So what does that tell you? And if it's got high alpha with no armor, then that tells you something as well. And why is this tank quick? It's got no armor.
Or is it the FCM and completely?
Yeah. So all these things tell you realistically what the tank. So take the Progetto 46, which is a good tank, good tier 8 premium tank. It's got a really good gun, really good reload, but it's fast. So you ask yourself the question: why has it got all that? Because it's got no bloody armor. It's as simple as there's zero armor on that tank. So you've got to be careful with it, and you've got to play the tank, not the class of the tank. And Bushka did a video on that, and it's a very true statement. Play the tank, understand the tank, understand why it's got the things it's got, and find your positions on the battlefield for that particular tank. And if you watch, and I know a lot of people don't watch the Pro Tours because they're not interested in it. Watch the Pro Tours, not just because you want to see these guys do competition, because they also show you that certain tanks play a certain way, they have certain positions, and they do certain things. And that's one thing you'll see from Clan Wars. You will see a team that knows the role of each tank, what role it's meant to play, and the parameters of each tank, what that particular tank is good at. And there's a reason why these guys take things like IS-4s and E5s. There's a reason they do this. And watch it for that. It's a learning curve. And this is what's missing from the game to an extent nowadays. People just want to roll out and shoot shit, which isn't a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad thing.
That's the motto of the game.
That's what I said. It's not a bad thing. But the idea is to stay alive and shoot shit.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
There's like the combos, the thing that you need to see the movement on the battlefield and see if you can combo something with it, like do something. Okay, I see. For example, you said the projector. The projector is like with, I don't know, 5 seconds, you can decimate an enemy.
Yeah.
Just roll with a medium. Let him take the first shot, peek, empty your clip, and keep going forward behind him, behind cover.
Yeah.
So now he's pincer. You're safe. You're reloading a shot. Either he's gonna aim at you or your teammate, and he's dead. You can do that with your teammate, and you can do that with a random. But the thing is, when you push in and you're the reds are also on the front, but you're safe as long as your teammate is taking care of the other red in front of you. But nope, he cowers and goes back. So now you are too deep in the reds, and all you need from your teammate is just like to distract him. There's no way for these tactics to be pushed into the game without, as I said, like without showing. Like, you need to showcase a play style.
Well, that's what I think I might look at. I'm going to collect these replays, and I'm going to do that because that's what I've been waiting for. Getting the replays that will show this play. I'm not interested in masteries or massive damage games. I'm now going to look at videos that show strategy, I think. And now with that,
Martin Dogger is doing that as well.
Martin's very good at it. He should be. He's always tried to turn his hand.
He's not showing high damage games, but showing games to get better.
Well, Martin's always been an educational YouTuber, mainly because he's a teacher in real life.
Yeah, because he is a teacher.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about Martin Dogger is that he does try and impart wisdom onto the player base. He does try that. Anyway, and with that, I'm going to knock it on the head. We've been on for 2 hours, so it's more than enough time for a chat. Oh, dear me. So, all of those on YouTube, thank you very much for joining. And we'll be back up in normal again soon. Those on Discord, again, thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. All of you guys for your input. Anything else before we disappear? Because it's getting dark here now.
Fugit,
yeah.
When are you going to be streaming the live stream again?
I'm hoping the Elgato capture card will come tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So it'll be this week coming. It will be this week coming.
All right.
Yeah. So, right. With that, guys, have a really good weekend, and I'll catch you all again soon. Enjoy your weekend, and those of you rolling out in your Tier 8 tournaments later today, whatever server you're on, although Asia should have been rolling out now, should have been finished. So EU and NA, enjoy your battles and good luck in your games. And catch you all again soon.
Thank you.
All right. See you later, guys. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.